A lot of you may be familiar with the hammer. The term gets tossed around a bunch when it comes to pre-merger cars, and a lot of people have misconceptions of what the hammer was, etc. I have here the baby hammer that I would like to call, because it is essentially the same body style, minus the engine that the hammer would have. A authentic hammer, which was typically the C124 with a 6-liter engine. The C124 sedan, a narrow body as well, but primarily the wide bodies were probably the more coveted and rarer ones. You also had the sedan W124 with a 6-liter, and they did make a few, I think 1 or 2 wagons with a 6-liter, one of which is blue and is owned by Blue Ridge Motoring. And there are a lot of people that will call a C126 a hammer, 190s, anything pre-merger, people just refer to it as a hammer, but the true ones are ones with 6-liter engines. Anyways, you guys saw the last episode where I picked up this beautiful C124, previously owned by Ozzie Guillen, and today I'm going to be going over a few things that I need to do with the car to get it to where I want it to be. Not much, but there's always something with older cars, just routine maintenance or what have you. We're definitely going to do paint correction and all that fun stuff. And so here's the car in my garage at YTG. I'll have to film it outside one of these days, but the days are very short in winter. Sunsets around 4 p.m., so not much time in the day, but here it is sitting with the SL. Beautiful AMG 16-inch aero wheels, white on white, dipped. If all the trim is white, the star is white, the grille is white. I added the AMG front plate, the US spec one. The headlights, I put in Euro headlights, and I'll be putting in the wiper delete, and I ordered up some Euro amber markers. So definitely will do a paint correction on this thing. It is such a cool car, such a great history. I was trying to buy this car for so many years. It was a bucket list car for me. The pillarless coupes are one of my favorite cars that Mercedes produced, and I tend to always go for the E-Class chassis. This being the 2-door coupe makes it that much cooler, and I did already register it. I did get some really cool plates. Can't wait for you guys to see those. I have to get an antenna. I removed the antenna. It had a cheap aftermarket antenna, so I'll be getting that. I already adjusted the doors, how they shut. They were off. Interior is pristine, and this is not even detailed yet, so you could only imagine how much nicer this is going to look. Bit of a harsh light, but floor mats, need to get a set of those. I'll probably throw some Cocoa mats in, maybe a set of Keith Collins, but Keith Collins was the original maker of the pre-merger floor mats for pretty much any pre-merger, and they're quite expensive, I think $2,000 or $3,000, so it's kind of ludicrous to give for something that you step on, unless the car is like not driven or you have them in foil. All the door cards are pristine. These were added tweeters, which kind of look factory, which are nice, and I believe AMG did that. From what Ozzie told me, this car was ordered this way. He bought it this way. Car has 20,000 miles on it, and it's missing 2 buttons here. to get those. I'm going to put a period radio in here, and I'm going to put a period sound system eventually. I did have Ozzie sign the glove box. If you guys didn't watch the last video, so that is really cool. Headliner and everything is like new. I mean, the car's like new. It's crazy. It's surreal to have this car in my presence. Has a lot of room. It's got the center rollback there, the headrests that fold down, the power antenna, and the only thing it doesn't have is heated seats. I've ordered a wooden AMG shift knob that I'll put in. I'll throw in an AMG Momo steering wheel. From the SL, I'm going to put the original SL steering wheel back, which is that guy over there. Yeah, I got to put that antenna in. Yeah, this is it. This is one of the cars that I can't believe is right here in front of me. Such a cool story. Cool story that Ozzie's first car that he got when he hit it big in baseball, and it was sentimental for him. Hard to let go of the car, but he did want it to go to me because he knows that I love pre-mergers. I love these cars, and I'm going to get it right. So with that, let's get to do some work. I'm going to start off with some mechanical. I did order up distributor cap, rotor, spark plugs I've already put in, Mercedes ones. The car is running a little rich and idle is high. And somebody was tinkering around with the CIS injection, and I noticed one of the screws was cracked off on the little bar that goes above the throttle plate, and I had to drill it out and put a new screw in there, fix that, and now I'm going to go and take out the idle air control valve, the IAC. It is getting stuck, so the car's idle RPMs are at like 2,000 RPM, which is no good. That'll burn more fuel, the car will run worse. So I'm going to try to clean that out. Hopefully it's just gunked up and it'll work. If it doesn't, well, I can just order one up. I've ordered one in the past, not a big deal. So let me show you what I'm working with here. Here is your M104 3.2 liter inline six, very clean engine. Some special mechanic over tightened this. The cover's missing. It's hard to find one. The only one I found is like $200 on eBay. No longer, they don't house it in the dealership. The car did die on me the day I got it. I thought it was a catastrophic failure. I was starting to think the worst. It was only the battery. Brought a new battery the next day, fired right up. And the odd thing was, Ozzie was like, oh, I don't, kind of bittersweet getting rid of it. And then it started right up when I was there. And then after he said that, I went to start it again, wouldn't start. So yeah, that was not good. But we'll take this cover off. We'll take the intake duct off. Take the intake duct off. I'll order up some new stickers like this one, freshen things up. It does have a cool Laurel Motors in Westmont, so that's really cool that it has that. And we'll see. I'll change the valve cover gasket on this thing and see if there's maybe some AMG cams in there. Fingers crossed. Even if there isn't, this is still a really cool, iconic car. Original, one owner, owned by Ozzie. Really cool history. So this is going to stay around for a bit with me. Hood pad is really clean. So yeah, let me get this taken off and we'll go ahead and take the IAC out. And I just created a problem by breaking that off. So great. It's a vacuum leak. Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted. 10mm screw, which I've loosened back here. And there's one right here somewhere. Actually, that was the only one. I'll unplug this guy. And drop that screw. Now I need a piece of hose because I've created a problem for myself here. Pop these screws off. And drop the washer. Get my little pry bar, and we gotta work this hose off here. We can unplug this plug here gently because these tabs like to break. And try to work this off, okay? And then it's being a pain. There we go. So it is moving, but it is gunked up in there, guys. Definitely a problem. So I'm going to use this Liquid Moly engine flush. Pour some in here. Let it sit. Then I'll clean it out with some mass airflow sensor cleaner or brake cleaner. Alright, so we have the idle air control valve cleaned out. I just put it back in. I'll go ahead and put the intake back on. We'll fire the car up, see if that's resolved our issue. If it hasn't, then I know that I need a new IAC because the car, when you unplug the IAC, it will run pretty good. So, I mean, the idle isn't as high, so means that the idle air control valve isn't doing what it's intended to do. In that case, I'm going to try and get a new one. It's not the greatest spot here. I'm just going to put one screw on for the test drive anyway. Plug this guy back in, and I'll go ahead and fire the engine up, see how the RPMs are. Well, as you guys can see, the idle's not dropped. So, well, let me show you what happens when I unplug the IAC, just to give you an example. And the car idles normally. That means that mechanism inside is not opening and closing how it should. So I'll probably just go ahead and order that up. It's a couple $100. Unfortunately, that's what I got to do. So next up, we're going to go change the micro condenser.